the cage.
To the blue corner, Joona, Hannula.
Good evening once again from all of us here at Cage. I'm Steve Stewart, your broadcast host. This evening, I'm joined by the venerable Alexi the Giant Toivonen, a remarkable former professional mixed martial artist, and this evening's co-host. How are you tonight, Alexi?
Thank you for the kind words, Steve. I'm super excited to get another Cage event this year, and I'm very happy to be here.
Brilliant, glad to hear it. I'm happy myself. Tonight we have 8 exciting fights ahead of us, live from Helsinki, Finland's House of Culture. This is Cage 54, and tonight the first fighter to make the walk to the cage is Joona Hannula, Baby Hulk.
Yeah, Baby Hulk is a proper nickname for Hannula. He's one of the new breed of Helsinki's Primus fight team prospects. Has plenty of Muay Thai experience, professional fights all the way in Thailand, and now making his second pro fight in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, second pro fight indeed. This looks to be an exciting one. You know, we've got Hannula here, who's undefeated thus far in mixed martial arts, as you said, has that Muay Thai background. Looks to be coming in fantastic shape. That Baby Hulk physique, as it were, fighting at featherweight, but quite a bit of mass on him there.
Yeah, he has good physique for the division, and also you can see Anton Kuivanen, who's a Finnish UFC veteran, mixed martial arts legend, leader of the Primus fight team in Hannula's corner, and I'm very eager to see what Anton has planned for Hannula tonight.
Yeah, fantastic to see that level of experience. You know, coaching a guy who is at that 1-0 mark. You know, he's a UFC veteran, Anton Kuivanen, so that's a great asset to have in your corner if you're, 1-0, new to the game, as it were. Though, of course, not new to combat sports. Has that background in Muay Thai, trains at GB Gym with a hell of a roster.
The kid is grown, I'm feeling strong, I'm in my zone. Laser focused like Iranian missile drones. I'm getting flown to
To the red corner, Marko, Sarasjärvi.
And now our red corner fighter making the walk, Marko Sarasjärvi. He's debuting in professional mixed martial arts tonight, but he's experienced as an amateur. 2-time world medalist under IMMAF rules. Excellent submission skills.
Yeah, Marko has a long background in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he has a lot of experience in the amateur ranks. So even though he's making his debut, he's exceptionally strong, exceptionally experienced for someone who is just stepping first time inside the cage.
Right, yeah. That 0-0 record doesn't quite tell the whole story here.
Yeah, no, but he has dominated amateur ranks in Finland and around the world with his strong top game, excellent takedowns, and heavy top control.
Right, and I think it's probably not out of the question to say that tonight we're expecting him to have a definitive advantage on the ground over Joona Hannula.
I agree. When it comes to this matchup, it's like a classic striker versus grappler. With Hannula, his Muay Thai experience, and then Marko is bringing that grappling heavy background, and also the amateur world medal level experience. So this is a very, very intriguing matchup, Finn versus Finn. Always glad to see that here in Helsinki.
Marko Sarasjärvi.
Yeah, GB Gym versus Sisu Gym. Aggression and power in Hannula versus submission expertise here with Sarasjärvi. And here we have the tail of the tape. No definitive advantage for either man. almost dead even all across the board. But Hannula, of course, does have that one fight more professional experience, meaning 3 5-minute rounds. Yeah.
Fighting up the blue corner, fighting with a professional record of 1 win and no losses, weighing 66 kilos, representing GB Gym and previous fight team out of Helsinki, Joona Baby Hawk Hannula! Fighting out the red corner, fighting with a professional record of pro debut. No wins and no losses, and this is his first professional fight. He weighs 66 kilos, representing Sisu Gym from Helsinki, Finland, Marko Sarasjärvi.
All right, here we have it. Sarasjärvi versus Hannula. Quite a beard on Hannula there.
Yeah, I heard Anton call it the pirate beard.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
so maybe he's coming to rob the victory tonight.
Yeah, it's fitting. He's got that steering, wheel on his back there. The yoke. Quick touch of gloves, and action is underway. Round 1. Let's see who establishes the center of the cage here. Oh, early shot from Sarasjärvi.
As we established before, I think Marko has a big advantage in the ground, but I'm interested to see what Anton has come up, because they know Sarasjärvi very well. He used to train at with Primus Fight Team, and he used to grow at GB Gym, which is the gym that Hannula is now from.
Right.
So they're very familiar with his style, and they know exactly what he wants to do. So I'm sure, as you can see, Hannula defends well, and he's really prepared.
Yeah, able to get that underhook, and looks like a reverse of positions, but does Hannula have his hands locked?
I think Hannula was going for a little bit for an anaconda choke just to threaten the position, and at least now he's on top. But you can't count Sarasjärvi out on the bottom either. Like I said, he has an excellent guard, excellent submission game. So very, very dangerous off his back too.
Yeah, I think already here threatening with potential submissions, perhaps an omoplata if he's able to sit out. You would probably know better than me, but definitely dangerous position to be here. Perhaps go-go plata even. Walk us through this.
Yeah, he's trapping Hannula's arm, going for the omoplata, and like you said, maybe looking at the go-go plata a bit, but Hannula is keeping his head down and pressure on top. But now Sarasjärvi got it locked, but the angle is a little bit bad for the finish.
He does have that body though.
And Hannula slips out, but Sarasjärvi has a chance to get on top, and he's looking to take it back. Now Hannula needs to turn his back against the cage and prevent the back take, because Marko already has the one hook in, and you do not want to give the other hook and get the full back control.
Not where you want to be with 3 minutes left to go in this round. Alexei, what does he need to do in order to alleviate the danger in this position?
Hannula needs to start to turn his back on the mat or back against the cage and prevent the full back take. And
scrape him off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he can do that, he can kill the angle for the choke. But like as you can see, Marko has the wrist control on the right side, which is now Hannula is doing the right thing. So he's turning against the cage. Oh, Sarasjärvi has I think he has his hands locked for an anaconda. We'll see if he tries to pull guard here and get the finish.
Yeah, can't quite see the hands there from this angle.
No. I think he's just maintaining the top position. Yeah. But this is Sarasjärvi's game. Like, he's good at controlling the position, wrist fighting, riding out the minutes, maintaining and winning rounds if you don't give up the submission. But a lot of opponents, they make mistakes, and like this, give out their neck and he latches onto it right away.
Yeah, not a place you want to be with a seasoned submission specialist. Definitely not. But that being said, this round, coming to a close rather quickly. Oh, this could be dangerous.
No, Sarasjärvi doesn't have his hand locked. No, that was well played from Hannula. Oh, good elbow from the top, yeah. Was able to get top position off the scramble. I think that was a little bit risky from Marko, like on Sarasjärvi's part, to dive for the guillotine.
And now this fighter's back on the feet. And you know, honestly, with Hannula's interviews, for instance, I've watched after his first fight, he didn't even bother wiping the blood off of his face. Just smiled through a mask of red. And when you talk to this guy, when you see him, you get a feeling that you get this impression that this is a man very comfortable with violence. So on the feet, I feel like that's a very dangerous spot to be, and I think that Sarasjärvi recognizes that. Takes him down yet again.
Yeah, he's definitely winning the round and fighting an excellent fight so far. Making a few mistakes, few adjustments, but like he's overall ridden out the round and maintained heavy top control all the time.
What kind of mistakes are you seeing here from Sarasjärvi? Because
that one dive for the guillotine, and it's very risky with a striker like Hannula to just sit up and dive for the legs again. Yeah, he was successful at that, but if he gets a read or Anton from his corner gets a read on that, I'm sure he will capitalize on those kind of things.
Hannula just can't keep Sarasjärvi off of him. 10 seconds to go, very short time left in this, the first round of our first fight here at Cage 54. Hannula in a couple of dangerous positions there, but makes it back to his corner.
Yeah, but to be honest, I was impressed with Hannula's defense. Like, I've seen him train before, and he is predominantly a striker. And as we established earlier, Sarasjärvi has a distinctive advantage on the ground. Right. So, and he had to pull guard for the first time to get the fight to the mat. Yeah, he trained with an omoplata. He had one good choke attempt, but still, Hannula was able to survive, get his back on the mat, and round two, get his back on the cage, stand back up, and round two starts on the feet again. So.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're Anton Koivunen there in Hannula's corner, what are you telling him?
I would tell him to, in any chance he gets, disengage from the ground. Force Sarasjärvi back to standing position. Sure. Like you saw that previously when he was kicking the legs, standing a bit too close, and Sarasjärvi just got up and back to grabbing him and forcing the grappling exchanges.
Easier said than done, of course, though. Sarasjärvi, a lot of forward pressure and just on him the entire time.
Yeah, definitely. And with the pressure that he brings when he's on top, is sure to take out the best pop in your strikes.
Absolutely. Second stanza set to begin. Quick touch of gloves from both fighters. Oh, that was a good pressure forward from Hannula now. After dropping that first frame, ostensibly, you got to think he's more eager now to keep things on the feet. Sarasjärvi in on a single leg. And he sits him down.
Good takedown and in the middle of the cage. I think what helped Hannula in the first round was when he got his back to the cage and back to standing position. I think this is not where he wants to be with Marko Sarasjärvi.
And you know, this is a very tiring thing. You know, having to walk with another person's weight on top of you back to the cage in order to peel him off. What do we think about the gas tank here?
I think Marko is used to this kind of fight, so even if he gets tired, he's used to that. His opponents get even more tired when he's riding on top, like forcing the position. Yeah. So even if he has to use strength, he's used to this kind of fighting. This is the style that Sarasjärvi brings to the cage, and this is the style that he's been successful in the amateur ranks before.
For Hannula, though, you know, what do you think we can expect here in terms of cardio output?
I think this is gonna tire him out a lot, especially now. And now Sarasjärvi threatening with the back take. Good hip control with the legs, already putting a pressure on the neck and gets the second hook in. Now he's cinching in the choke.
That looks locked in the knee. And that's a deep, deep squeeze. Let's see if Hannula is able to weather the storm. Perhaps slip. Yeah, there it does. Break the grip. And now he's turning in to Sarasjärvi.
Oh, Sarasjärvi can plan him out. Now, if ever, Sarasjärvi has a chance to ground and pound. But no, he pulls back to the back, trusting on his BJJ, hunting for the choke again.
as mentioned, Sarasjärvi does have that distinct advantage here on the ground, but Hannula is as game as they come. Doesn't look ready to even consider tapping here. Even when the choke was in.
Yeah, he's gone under the chin a few times, but Hannula is just able to power out and protect it, like block the end of the choke, but now Sarasjärvi is deep in again. No.
You got to think with those hands getting locked nearly every single time here, and with that arm under or on the chin, it's only a matter of time, no?
Usually yes, but Hannula is surviving very, very well.
Yeah, very good defense in that regard. Or survival, rather, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he's showing at least that he's very tough. And like Sarasjärvi is a high-level grappler, so he's defending well, surviving well. Well, he hasn't escaped the position yet, but...
Right, and you know, over half of this round has now gone by, under 2 minutes left, and you gotta think that would probably put Hannula down 2 rounds at this point.
Yeah, if it goes like this all the way, there's still 2 minutes left, and Marko is hunting for the choke very aggressively. He still has 2 minutes to work, and when he gets top position on this, I would like to see him go more for the ground and pound, damage, and then try to build on the choke, because this is not just a grappling match. You can actually use the ground strikes to open up the choke attempts.
Yeah, and when Hannula was on top, he went right to work with that ground strike. It was, you know, only one short elbow, but this is more of what you want to see, I think.
And in my own experience, when you strike more on the ground, even when you just hunt for the submission, especially with the gloves on, hunt for the choke, excuse me, then with the gloves on, it's very hard to get it. It's hard, the hand fighting is tiring, and all the MMA fighters at this level who are fighting at the cage, they are tough. They are tough as nails. So open the attempt with the ground and pound, but now Sarasjärvi is squeezing with everything he has.
And Hannula doing his best to be unchokeable. That looks pretty locked into me. Nope, slipped out.
I think the hand slipped off from the bicep, so he couldn't get the proper pressure.
Okay.
Well, he has body triangle, 30 seconds to go.
Hannula turning to the side that's locked down, put a little pressure on that ankle. Tell me about that.
I think you can put pressure, but it's very difficult when you have a grappler at the level of Sarasjärvi to just put ankle pressure, try to ankle lock the guy when he controls your back. Like
not at risk of finishing by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Maybe like a white belt gym tournament, you can catch someone off with that, but people who actually know how to play the body triangle, even if it turns on the side of the lock, it's still very difficult to finish.
Largely one-way traffic thus far in this fight between Marko Sarasjärvi and Joona Hannula. Here we have the single leg that sat Hannula down, and good top pressure. The back take here. Wasn't long before he had both hooks in. Lots of submission attempts from Sarasjärvi. But Hannula did well to survive, you know, if not get off any of his own offense, unfortunately, but did, of course, weather that storm.
But he will definitely need a finish.
Absolutely.
In the third round.
And, you know, that's an exhausting, grueling thing, having somebody with such high-level submissions on your back, all over you, really. You got to think Hannula's best bet here would be a knockout.
Absolutely. And even if he goes to the ground, I think he needs to do what he did in the first round. Get to the cage, get your back against the cage, stand up, and return to your feet. But he definitely needs to make something happen in the beginning of this round.
Or flip around, get into the guard, and drop those elbows once again. Though that was obviously not a super stunning show of force. It was at least a bit of offense. Good clinch work here from Hannula. Oh, and a heavy head kick. And another shot from Sarasjärvi.
Well-timed double leg on the kick, and again, middle of the cage. Now, this is gonna be very difficult for Hannula. I feel he needs to initiate a scramble early while he still has a little bit of energy, like he's doing, but he can't give out his back.
Yeah, Sarasjärvi is all over Hannula here. And at that level of exhaustion, which is obviously only natural when you've had that, high-level ground opposition, you got to imagine this is definitely not where you want to be in the third round of a fight that has largely gone more or less this way.
Absolutely, and now that Sarasjärvi has the body triangle lock, he can put both hands on top of Hannula's shoulders and threaten the choke on both sides, round and pound, and be very offensive if he wants. And as you can see now, he has his hands locked well, but man, Hannula was able to gut this out before.
Yeah, there is no quit in Hannula, unquestionably.
Yeah, unquestionably.
Sarasjärvi now has maybe a little bit better of an angle, but no, decides to put that hand to perhaps better use, in his opinion, raining down a couple of shots to soften or loosen up Hannula. Very impressive debut for Marko Sarasjärvi.
Oh, Marko is working a bit of a hand trap, but no, Hannula worked it out. Like I said before, I would like to see, I know Marko doesn't want to take any stupid risks, but I would like to see him in these positions where Hannula turns a little bit onto his stomach, like turn on top, flatten him out, ground and pound. You still don't have to lose position. You can maintain the back and then hunt for the choke,
right,
instead of just controlling and riding out the position. But he's leading 2 rounds to none, so I think if he controls the back for the next 2.5 minutes, then I think the fight is his. And he is hunting for the choke very aggressively. So,
as I said, Hannula just proving maybe he's unchokeable here.
Maybe it's a pirate beard.
Yeah, it could be blocking that the crushing of that airway. The big question here as we went into the first round was aggression and power versus submission expertise, and it seems pretty darn clear at this point that the submission expertise has won the day in this particular matchup.
Yeah, I think Hannula never had a chance to get his strikes off properly before Sarasjärvi was all over him, and landed excellent takedowns, and I think in rounds 2 and 3 has really shown his ground control, back takes, like excellent grappling on his part.
Right.
Like I said, in round 1, a couple of mistakes, lost position a few times, but rounds 2 and 3, none of those.
And Sarasjärvi has been 1 or 2 steps away from a submission for a majority of this round. Just getting that kind of like arm across the neck and really locking that in. The threat has always been there. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody for more or less 15 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. It's tiring for Sarasjärvi too, but the pressure he can put with the body triangle on the gut and stomach area, and then also like threatening the choke constantly, it is tiring for the person that has to defend under the constant threat. And then if you add the ground strikes, like he does the 1-2 punches here and there, it's not fun. I can tell you, it's not fun to be there.
Yeah, 1 or 2 is enough. It's even 1 hurts. Short time remaining in what is ostensibly a unanimous decision victory or potentially a submission victory win for Marko Sarasjärvi. Gotta be frustrated if you're Hannula.
Definitely, and if Hannula wants any chance to get back on this or try something crazy in this fight, he has to do it now. But honestly, I don't think there is anything he can do at this point anymore.
10 seconds remain. And Sarasjärvi, to his credit, going for that submission as hard as he can, even with these, even in short time. Hannula not having it. Did, unfortunately, get more or less dominated, but lots of heart on display.
Yeah, show great heart, but excellent fight for Marko Sarasjärvi. Great ground control, show what he has been successful before in his career, translates just as well, if not even better, to the professional ranks.
Yeah, that was an incredible performance for a debuting fighter, and I mean, just dominant the entire time. Let's see what we have here. Good punch in from Hannula. A kick there, unfortunately, allows Sarasjärvi to time the takedown and sit him down, where he takes the back, and that was the story of this fight. Good and back control.
Beautiful smooth back take, threatening the choke constantly.
Constant threat, yep. Couldn't get Hannula out of there, but not for lack of trying, and I mean, not for lack of beautiful setup for a majority of the time. Just Hannula, tough as nails, as are, of course, all of these guys here tonight. Joona Hannula, only 26 years of age, with lots of time to improve and work on that ground game. Yeah. Sarasjärvi with that shirt got Sisu. It is very clear both of these fighters here tonight definitely do.
Yeah, 100%. And but yeah, I was overall impressed with Sarasjärvi's performance, and I look forward to seeing this young man again, pushing forward in his career.
Yeah, absolutely, very promising. If you could do that,
ladies and gentlemen, after 3 full rounds, we have the judges' scorecard for the decision. Winner by unanimous decision, Marko Sarasjärvi!
There you have it, a victory for Marko Sarasjärvi, unanimous decision. And now we go to Velko with the interview.
Marko, onneksi olkoon, hieno voitto. Vielä pieni huikkari päästä kertomaan meille, että miltä mennä maistui.
Miltä maistui? Ihan hyvältä. Tarkoituksena tietenkin aina saada lopetus, mutta joskus kun menee kalaan, niin pitää tulla liha tiskin kautta takaisin. Aina se ei nappaa, mutta parhaani tein.
Aika pitkään pääsit roikkumaan tuossa matossa siellä selkäpuolella ja hakemaan sitä RNCtä, mutta mitä luulet, kuinka lähellä se lopetus siinä oli?
No siinä alussa se oli aika lähellä, mutta siinä kolmanteen erään, kun alkoi kädet olla niin hapoilla, että ellei se olisi ihan ilmaiseksi antanut, niin ei se ole tullut, mutta yritin kaikkeni kuitenkin.
Vaikutti siltä, että halusit viedä ottelua tonne mattoon. Oliko se alun perin gameplanina?
Ei, mä ajattelin ihan pystystä vaan hakata niin kauan kunnes se tippuu, mutta sitten jotenkin mä aina päädyttiin sinne mattoon semmin vahingossa.
Tää oli pro-debyytti, mitä seuraavaksi?
No seuraavaksi on se toinen ammattilaismatsi.
Se oli hyvä vastaus. Oikein hieno ja onneksi olkoon.
Kiitos.
Marko Sarasjärvi!
All right, so I think you lost me after pretty good right there in the beginning. Why don't you give me a little hand here, Alex? What did Marko Sarasjärvi have to say?
Marko said he tried to hunt for the finish, but couldn't get it this time, and promised that he'll be back. Don't know where yet, but when Velko asked what is next in his career, his answer was short and plain: second professional fight. So keeps pushing forward, and I'm eager to see where this young man ends up.
Yeah, absolutely. Specifically with such a beautiful performance. Absolutely incredible. Fantastic debut.